Thank you for staying with us. This is Carol Parisi with Champion News Talk Radio. Our founder, Jack Roeser, and myself have Tom Donelson with America's PAC. And before the break, we were talking a little bit about the American Dream and America's PAC and how you're messaging to these demographics that are intrinsically conservative, but 95% of African Americans in Illinois voted for Barack Obama.
Well, let me throw it back in this capacity. I mean, as I stated in the first segment, if you don't ask, if you're a salesman, if you don't ask for the business, you don't get the business. If you don't ask for the vote, you're not going to get the vote. And one of the things we have done over the years is basically gone into minority markets on minority radio stations, minority television, and we basically have gone on their media to talk about our message. And when you start looking at certain things, and some of the things we kind of emphasize, for example, 30% of Hispanics own retirement packages of $25,000 or more. They're part of the investor class. We also know that that's not much different with African Americans, part of the investor class. There's no reason why they should be voting Democratic. They should be voting Republicans because it's in the financial interest. So we talk about the taxes, we talk about the deficit issue, and we do this on the media that they listen to. Because if you look at what we have found over the years, you look at some of the most popular media, radio media or television, oftentimes their minority tends to be some of the biggest radio stations out there. So the message is being heard by millions of people on a daily basis. If you look in Chicago, you run an ad, you're going to reach millions of people. But the question is, what are they going to hear? Basically what they hear from the Democrats is, I call it the rape, plunder, and pillage approach, which basically is, we're going to, you're a child, you're going to be rape, plunder, and pillage. We're going to take away your right by asking for an ID, and if you're Hispanic, we're going to kidnap your grandma at the Dairy Queen and send her back to Mexico. Now, this is what they hear on a day-by-day basis.
Rich people are the menace.
Yeah,
unfair.
Unfair, but but the thing is, if you don't compete, you don't do it. So one of the things we have found over the years, because when we do a program, we do like an 8-week or a 10-week program, and what we try to do is get them to talk about our issues. As opposed to what I call the rape, plunder, and pillage, we talk about, okay, Democrats, how come you're giving them bad schools? Okay, for example, you talk about deportation. Sorry, but more people are getting deported by Obama than got deported by George Bush.
What was you said a number earlier.
There's about 400,000 a year versus about 150,000. But basically, Barack Obama has pretty much deported about over 2 times as many Hispanics as George Bush did on a yearly basis. In fact, the reality is more people have been deported under Barack Obama than under George Bush's full 8 years. So yeah, grandma's in danger, but not from us.
Well, now, Jack, you were saying something about Bush being very friendly to the Hispanic population, and he won a lot of their vote. That was not that long ago.
No, it's not.
The Bush administration was.
Well, here's the thing. What they did, though, is they went in and doing what we do. They went and they talked about the bread and butter issues.
Yeah.
Those are the issues. Taxes. Hey, how much money are you going to be left behind after a month's paycheck?
And they got a big percentage of the vote, too.
And then on
that, but the Republican Party is not actually reaching out to these communities.
Very ineffectual, if you say it at all. I would put it this way. Let me throw it back in this capacity. If you ask the average Republican strategist, they'll tell you, if you talk to minorities, all you're going to do is increase their vote total without increase the vote total and increase the Democratic vote total. What we have found over the years, and by the way, the Democrats did this to us in 2012. If you send the message, the 2 things happen. A, you get a few extra Hispanics and African Americans to think, yes, that's where I am. I should be voting that way. The other aspect is you take the fear out of voting Republican. And those people who are not ready to press that button, they realize, hey, I'm not going to be raped, plundered, and pillaged, as they say. They stay home. So you actually get kind of 2 things. And by the way, the Democrats did this to us because they did this in the white community, when say the blue-collar voters, when they did their anti-Bain campaign. That was specifically designed to send a message to blue-collar workers. Well, if you're not going to vote for me, why are you going to vote for this other guy? Might as well just stay home because nothing will change for you.
The Bain capital with Mitt Romney being Mr. Fat Cat.
Exactly. So basically, the bottom line is this. As I stated, conventionalism is totally wrong in dealing with the minority community. It is, as I say, there for the taking, especially among the Hispanics. I mean, face it, 30% Hispanics will call themselves conservative, but we're only getting half of that vote.
It strikes me that the American dream has been removed from Hispanics and the rest of the people that haven't caught on with the American dream. You know, as long as they're hanging on welfare and Obama is doing his incentive spending, and it's to give the money away to people so that they are going to be able to sit there and not work and get an income for 2 years even. What he's destroying is all of the incentive to get off of your butt and get on your feet and do something to make a living.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, the message that's coming in, it's actually generalized, is that it doesn't pay to work.
Yeah.
There's no American dream.
There is none.
You didn't build this, as they say. But the reality is, we know very clearly, we talked about, many Hispanics and blacks are building their own business. They're building it, and basically they should be voting with us.
Well, you know what?
More so with the Hispanics than with the blacks. The blacks, they've been pumping it out, giving them money to make them stay at home.
Stay with us.